how to structure a real estate investment. So welcome back. Now in this episode, I'm going to answer your question, how to structure a real estate investment. So stay tuned here. There's a lot to learn. I'll try to cover as much as I can. I don't have that much time in the videos, but we're going to cover how to structure a real estate investment. Now there's 10,000 ways to do this, so I'm just going to show you one today. If you get this one, it'll take you from basic information to where you can make money. You'll learn how to make money before I finish this actual video. All right, so how to structure a real estate investment. Folks, let me tell you this to start with. Real estate isn't a get rich quick. Basically, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So that simply means you're going to have to take your time. You're not going to be rich by next Friday. You're going to have to run the marathon and let this thing mature. But if you'll do that, there's plenty of real estate to buy. I'm an expert in the area of tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've taught thousands of people nationwide, and for that matter, worldwide. I have customers in the United Kingdom, the provinces of Canada, Singapore, Bangkok, Australia. You're getting the idea. So this business works for you no matter where you are. Now, there's thousands of properties coming up for tax auction every single year. Now, I know that if you watch television in the evening, on the weekends especially, you're going to see lots of late night television telling you you can get rich quick. All right, well, I'm here to tell you that it's not going to be a sprint like they're going to tell you. It's going to be a marathon. So this marathon starts with thinking out where you're going to buy these properties. Now, there's foreclosure sales, there's distress sales, or whatever. I'm an expert in the area of tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. You might call those tax liens or tax deeds. That business always works. It's worked for 200 years. How do I know that? Because I've been in real estate all my life, and I finally found tax liens and deeds 30 years ago, and I've never looked back. I knew I couldn't get rich right away, but I knew if I could buy property for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, and then attending auctions and buying them at the bargain prices. Anybody can sell at a bargain price. So if you buy it low, you could sell it low. So anybody can go to the auctions. There's lots of them. There's every county in the United States, over 3,000 counties, will have auctions. My point is, you can do this. I don't care if you're young or old. If you're old and you're worried about money, by that I mean if you're over 40 or 50 years old and you're worried about money, don't worry, because I can show you how to make, with a little money, make nice, steady money and grow and end up wealthy, okay? Now, every once in a while, you're going to get lucky, and you're going to do like they say on television. You're going to buy it, and you're going to quickly sell it. All right, that's the dream deal. I don't know that I can teach you to do the dream deal, but I can tell you that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So if you can buy low price, and you're willing to sell at a low price, that will accelerate the process. Everybody doesn't get to accelerate it because they buy at high prices at foreclosure sales. Now, foreclosures are banks, okay? I'm talking about buying from the county, all right? Now, there's thousands of counties. There's over 3,000 counties and another 1,400 municipalities. Okay, now I'll be right back and tell you more. Okay, welcome back. My name is Ted Thomas, and I've been involved in tax liens and tax deeds for over 30 years. Now, I've discovered this business 30 years ago. I never looked back. Why? Because it's a business of abundance. There's always going to be too much, okay? Now, when I say there's 3,000 counties, that means there's going to be at least 3,000 auctions. All right, quite frankly, I know that there's going to be more than 5,000 auctions. But the point is, there's going to be plenty of places where you can do this. So we got 3,000 counties that auction them, and we got another 1,400 municipalities. They're all taxing districts, and they all need money. And they get their money from property tax. So if people don't pay their property tax, guess what? The people didn't pay. So they're going to do what I call a confiscation. They're going to seize that property. Now, some of the states will actually sell tax liens and delay that process. But half of the states will confiscate the property, and then they're going to resell it. All right, so this is a part-time job. You don't have to go out and have a full-time job to me. You can do this working part-time because the auctions are all scheduled, number one. And so you can plan around the auction that's scheduled, whether it's in your hometown or if you come to one of our classes, we'll teach you how to do it online. You can do it in any county in the United States. So you can work part-time, and I don't care how old you are. So if you're a person that's just getting started, you think you kind of missed the boat, you didn't, if you'll just follow the simple process that I'm going to show you today. All right, so the government has these tax defaulted properties, okay? They're doing it all the time. They have to sell these properties because people walk away from properties. Well, some people don't walk away. Some of them just die and leave the property. Now, what's going to happen to the property? It's going to deteriorate. So if they don't pay taxes on it, the government comes along and scoops it up, confiscates it, and then they're going to sell it. Now, what do they sell it for? Well, they don't look for a retail price. They sell it for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, and there's no mortgage. I said there's no mortgage. So if you're buying properties for 10 or 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, and there's no mortgage, wow, what an opportunity. That's going to give you a lot of margin between the price you buy it and what it's worth. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a margin between what you pay for it and what it's really worth. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples for that. Okay, so I have students in California. Now, you know, real estate prices are high in California. I have clients that bought a property worth $115,000 and paid $9,500. Let me do that again. Bought a $115,000 property and paid $95,000. Now, this is not unusual. So that's less than 10 cents on the dollar. Why? Because they went to the auction in San Bernardino County. I have people buying in Los Angeles County, and they're buying for 6 and 8 cents on the dollar with no mortgage. Now, you don't believe all that, but believe me, I got plenty of videos on this channel that'll back all that up. So what am I talking today? I'm talking about how to structure a real estate deal. Well, the way you structure a real estate deal is, number one, you've got to buy it right. So let's buy it down here at the tax defaulted value and then have an assessed value that's much higher, okay? So if you can buy for 10, 20, or 30 cents on the dollar, everybody else is trying to get 110 cents, right? You can buy at those kind of prices, you're off to a good start. Now, remember what I said. This is a business that is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you're going to buy it, then you're going to have to either do something to it, or you're going to have to learn how to market, or do both. We're going to teach you how to do both, okay? So what you want to do is you want to be able to earn a six-figure income on one deal. But I can't just show you one, and that's it. We're going to show you a lot of deals that you can make $20,000, $30,000 on, and that's what you want. You're going to buy it low, and you're going to sell it low. All right? That's going to make you, no matter who you are, it's going to make you financially free. So the math works if you buy low at auction and then sell it low to the bargain hunters. Because you see, late night television is teaching you to be a bargain hunter. Why don't we sell to those guys that are watching all that late night television? What a great idea, right? We'll buy at the tax auction. They don't even know about it because they're not watching my videos, right? All right, so they're not watching. We're buying properties 10, 20, 30 cents with no mortgage. All right, now we could sell it for 50 or 75 cents and make a profit. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. All right, now I don't know where you are in life, but maybe you got thrown a few curveballs. Maybe you had a divorce. Maybe you just made a lot of dumb mistakes. Well, if you made, though, it's over. So let's get on. What are we going to do? We got to do what the people that know how to make money do. What do? They understand it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. All right, so we're going to start running this marathon so that we can buy it, and then a short time later, not 10 years, months later, we're going to resell the thing. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to show you a structure that will work. If we buy at the auction, we're buying low, and what we're going to do is we want to sell it low and make it happen. Now, some people are going to say, Ted, why would you sell it low? Why not make all the profit? I want you to get cash flowing. Let's get cash flowing. We have many as we want. There's 3,000 counties. Think of all the auctions we can go to. We can go to literally hundreds. We can go to thousands of auctions if we want to and buy these properties. So I don't know where you are in your life. If you're already buried in debt, we're going to get you out of debt. So as soon as you're out of debt, you don't need a lot of money to buy at tax auctions. You don't need a lot of money because we're going to pay low prices. So if you're one of those people that's buried in debt, let's start thinking about you getting out of debt. These county governments, they don't want to go in debt. They're just going to sell these properties for back taxes with no mortgage. I said back taxes with no mortgage. There is no better deal than that. All right, now understand, every property in the United States can be purchased by anybody that wants to buy one. So anybody can own a property. Now people, when they own a property, they have a responsibility. When you own that property, you have to pay taxes. So if you don't pay the taxes and you abandon the property, what's going to happen is the county's going to seize, they're going to confiscate that property. And what are they going to do with it? They don't want it. They're just going to put it back out. The county doesn't want any more property. They got parks, they got schools, they got as much as they want. They don't want any more property. What do they want? They want cash flow. Cash flow means they're on the tax roll. It's paying the bills, paying the county employees, paying the police, paying the fire departments, doing all those things. So what do they do with the property? They're just going to auction it. Okay, so here's a property with an assessed value of $75,000, but they're going to auction it for somewhere around the back taxes. So in this case, that property's going to get sold for just around back tax, $6,000. Oh my goodness. Folks, that leaves a lot of margin. Think about the margin. $75,000 property, and the person bought it for $6,000. Does that give them? You'd be willing to sell it for $20,000? Sell it for $30,000? Well, of course you would. That would give you cash flow right away. Or you could do an installment sale. You could do either one. But what if you had cash flow right away? What's wrong with that? It's all in the structure of the deal. That's what we're talking about. But you can't structure a deal if you pay retail price. You got to find a retail client. It's much easier to find someone that wants a bargain. There's plenty of those people. So if we sold that property, if the county sold that property for $6,000, happens every single day, folks, that's less than 10 cents on the dollar. Now, I don't know if you're going to get one. I've got them that way. I've known other people that got them that way. Okay, so the point is, if I buy it low like that, I'm going to sell it low. I didn't say I'm going to buy it for 6 and sell it for 7. If I'm going to buy it for 6, I might mark it up 5 times to 30,000 and then sell it. Well, I can live with 24,000. I can live with that all day long. I hope you could too. So the whole point of my session here is we're going to purchase these properties at low prices. So your structure is going to be that you're going to buy it at a low price, at this auction, for example. Now, what if you decided to sell it with payments? So let's say you had enough cash on hand. Go ahead and sell it with payments. And now, in this case, you sold a nice property like you see there, sold it for $500 a month with a $6,000 down payment. Well, $500 a month for 10 years is $60,000. You paid 6, you got 60,000. Holy Toledo. Think of the money you make. What I'm saying is, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how late in life you're starting. If you can learn these structures, can I teach you everything in 6 or 8 minutes on a video? No. But if you can learn these structures, where are you going to be? Well, you're going to be where you can take care of yourself and maybe leave a nice legacy for a whole bunch of people. I'm out of time, but below me is a free video. If you had a chance, I want you to like this video. If you have questions, just send the questions in. We'll give everybody a free gift. I want you to be careful of 2 things. Don't buy anything at auction that you haven't looked at. Why? Because there might have been a fire. There might have been a windstorm, a hurricane. It might be next to a pig farm. I don't know where it is, but don't buy what you haven't seen. That's number 1. Number 2, if you don't know how you're going to sell it, like I just showed you, I bought it low and I sell it low, or I use an installment sale, don't buy it until you do know that. All right, those are the 2 big mistakes people make. Right below me is a free video.